Hello and welcome to Sentinels Reprieve's beginner's guide to making money rock mining. ROC, spelled ROC, stands for Remote Ore Collector, and you use this little grey cat rock to crack and scoop gems on the planet's surface. It's a great way to earn AUEC in the verse. I personally think it's a lot easier and just as effective as normal mining in, say, the Prospector, as you don't have to refine your ore and then also transport it to a main hub for selling. It can pay just as well as salvaging in, say, the Vulture, but the good thing about this is you can buy and rent everything you need in-game. You can store the gems in any ship, even in your backpack, and also sell the mined gems pretty much anywhere in the verse. So first of all, let's have a little look at getting your hands on one of the Grey Cat rocks and also a ship to transport it around in. You can buy the Grey Cat rock at New Deal in Lawville for 172,000 AUEC, but I think it's a lot easier just to rent one. And you can do this at any Lagrange station that has a refinery. As an added bonus, you can also rent the Cutlass Black here, which I think is the perfect ship for transporting the rock around. You can also use the Nomad, the Freelancer Max, the Valkyrie. I've done it in a Constellation Taurus before. Anything that will fit it in will work fine, but I think that the Cutlass Black is one of the smallest ships that can fit it, so it's easier to transport it around and fly around the planet's surface in this. And the fact that you can rent it here as well as the Grey Cat rock just makes it perfect for that starter ship and giving it a go and seeing if it's something that interests you. So once you've got yourself a Grey Cat rock and a ship, you're going to want to take your ship down to the planet's surface and load your rock into it. So here I'm going to go to Shubin mining facility on Daymar, which is also where I'm going to be mining the gems. I'm going to show you how to spawn and load your rock into the ship. Once you quantum down, free fly towards one of the landing pads and touch down on there. I don't think you need to be on one of the landing pads, you can land near it, but it's easier for loading to land on the pad. Then make your way over to the building which is next to the two small pads for spawning the ground vehicles. Head over to the ASOP terminal and spawn your Grey Cat rock. There she is, look, bouncing around on the pad. She's excited to get going. Jump in the driver's seat. I always love the animation for this, so I go into third person. Then drive over to your ship and simply drive it into the back. It looks a little bit like a tight squeeze, but actually it fits it really well. Just make sure you pull a little bit more forward than I have here so that you can access the buttons for the cargo door at the back. Then jump in the pilot seat of the ship and we are going to go and have a look and see if we can find any gems. Now, there are three different types of mineral deposits, or gems as we call them. The first one being Dollarvine, which is green in colour and worth 130 AUEC. The next being Aphorite, which is purple in colour and worth 150 AUEC. And then we have Hadanite, which is pink in colour and the one that if you see you definitely want to collect because it's worth 275 AUEC per gem. Now these might not seem like big numbers, but they come in clusters of hundreds when you're mining them, so it very quickly adds up. So some people have the view that they just go after Hadanite because it's worth the most, but personally I just mine whatever I come across, because in the time that you spend looking for Hadanite, you could have probably scooped up a cluster or two of Aphorite or Dollarvine and be better off than you would have been searching for Hadanite. So let's get scanning. As you can see, I'm literally just flying along the surface of the planet and pumping scan. Now, you don't need to be in scanning mode to do this, just the normal scan will work fine, because there's a handy little tip that I think differentiates whether you've found ore or whether you found the gems that you're searching for. When you're pumping scan, if you see a little box which is around 8 kilometers away, you're pretty certain that that's going to be ore for mining in, like the rock or something. But if you come across something which you need to be a little bit closer to scan, within sort of 3 kilometers it suddenly pops up, you know that that's going to be the gems. So quite simply just fly around pumping scan and looking for something that pops up on your screen within 3 kilometers. Once you've found your gems, a little tip that I also do is if you hold F and use your mouse wheel button or whatever you've set it to, you can zoom in and just check the colour of the rocks, and then you know what it is you're mining, and in this case it's hadanite, so perfect. You're then going to want to land nearby, get into your rock, get out of the ship, and then get in position. You're then going to want to hit M or whatever you've bound your mining mode to, and make sure that you are in mining and not extraction mode. And thus begins the mining minigame. Left button to activate the miner, and whilst holding Alt, which is a new thing, use the mouse wheel to scroll up and gradually increase the power. You need to get the little increasing bar into the green zone and hold it there. Once that green section has filled, the laser will switch off and hopefully the rock will shatter. Then, using the right mouse button, switch over to extraction mode and then start scooping the gems. I found it best to hold it still in a position, scoop some, then move it, scoop a bit more. If you start waving the arm around, it can fling the gems all over the place rather than scooping it into your inventory. Now I'm going to show you a little technique that you can use to speed up the process a little bit, but it's slightly riskier. What you want to do is activate your miner and put it on full whack 100% until it hits the green. Then hit left mouse button to deactivate the laser, quickly press the left mouse button to activate it again, and then just put a couple of turns on your mouse wheel just to hold it in position. This is obviously a little bit riskier because if the game jibs a little bit it can flick into the red, but you can deactivate the laser so quickly just by pressing left mouse button or even pointing the laser away from the rock. I'd never really have a problem with this technique. And then scoop up your gems. I find it best to crack one rock, scoop the gems, crack the next rock, scoop the gems, rather than crack all the rocks and then scoop the gems, because it seems to get a little bit laggy when you've got hundreds of gems on the floor to scoop. And there you have it. Once you've finished that, you're going to want to put the rock back inside your ship and fly off and look for some more. But before you do, it's a good idea to take the gems out of the inventory of the rock and move them into the ship inventory. You can even put some in your backpack, which is a good backup for if you have a 30k, and at least you get some gems stored in your backpack that you can sell. And the rest can go in your ship's inventory, and leaving the rock free to scoop up more and more gems. So you can sell these gems as they are pretty much anywhere where you can find the trade terminal that will accept them, which could even be the mining facility where we loaded up the rock into as a sale point, but I like to go to one of the Lagrange space stations to do it. So this little run I spent about an hour also filming it as well, which took a bit more time than I normally would do, and I managed to find 3 clusters of rocks, one of each type, just to mix it up a little bit. And I made over 150k, which isn't too bad really. So yeah, it's up to you to give it a go now. And if you found this video useful, don't forget to watch some of our other beginner guides, and I will see you in the next one.